And I'm coming live from my estate in the beautiful Polson, Montana. And here's the issue. As I've recently come to figure out, well, after many years of research, is that America consists of nearly 28% slave babies, or people that were once slave babies. And this is a wonderfully blissful idea, because since people were slave babies, they are able to look back on their roots and reflect upon it. But the very interesting fact of the matter is, people don't know that they were slave babies. So we need to make sure everybody can know that they're slave babies. And this is so increasingly, exclusively, mind-blowing, proportionally, psychophrenically. And yet again, I do know. Here is the deal. People need to be informed of this. So that's why I'm making this video. So people can know about slave babies. And that's the problem. It's the problem. Issue of Western Hemisphere society. See, Mexico, aka the Hat, they happen to have a lot of slave babies as well. Even more than the United States. They have close to 94% slave babies. See, and the other 6% are the people that have the slave babies when they're babies. But the thing is that none of them know they were babies, or they were slave babies, because when you're a baby you don't know. And they just thought they were like part of the family. So this is like when you were a kid and your parents would try to tell you where kids come from. It's like when the kids come from the crane, you know, that comes from the sky, that's like come out of the sky. Well, kids didn't know, so they just became part of the family. So that's how kids are from slave babies. So the 6% of the people in Mexico that own the slave babies, they're the rich people, okay? And not very many people in Mexico are rich, which I don't understand. But that's not the topic of this conversation we're having right now, as I like to call my talk with you, like me and you. So, like, here's the deal, okay? Slave babies are a very pressing issue to American and Western Hemisphere society. And even though it doesn't happen anymore because there's no more slaves, obviously, Civil War and all that stuff, so we don't have slave babies anymore. But even after the Civil War, there were still slave babies, which is so hard for me to imagine. And it's just a weird thing. Like, slave babies are a before my time thing. Because as you can tell, I'm only like 65 years old. So it's more of like a 75 to 85-year-old person thing. So slave babies, well, there aren't slave babies anymore, unless you're talking about dogs and cats. There's lots of dog and cat slave babies. But a whole different topic for a different conversation yet again. So here's the deal. If you're a slave baby, it's not that hard to figure out. Just check your left ankle on the outside, so the left side of your left ankle, and check to make sure, and you'll see there'll be a little dot there, and then there'll be a bigger dot, and then there'll be like a little circle thingy. And if you have one of those, you're a slave baby. Thank you. And this is Riley LEMM, Dr. Riley LEMM, speaking about slave babies, and thank you for listening to my talk. So long.